The Akashic Records. Hey guys, so I wanted to jump on and do a little video on, the topic of what is sometimes termed as the Akashic Records. And if you're familiar with that term, you kind of already know what it is. But so what I want to talk about is like, what if it's there for you to be used in your favor, not against you? You know, we do have the dualities and we do have the options to choose how we want to view things, from this stream of conscious or this one. So instead of being the one where it's against you as far as being a victim in your life, we can choose it from the positive aspect and use it as in our favor, which is the choice where Source would have provided this to you as a tool to navigate your life, right? So your book of life is a tool that you have for yourself, right? Everything's recorded. Everything that you do, everything that you say, everything you think, everything you perceive, it's all recorded, right? The Akashic Records. Everybody has a book of life, right? And that's stored in the universal consciousness, and that's where we're creating from. However, in life, sometimes if we're not connected, we don't know about it, we're kind of seeing it from the point of view as it's against us, we're the victim, but it's stored there for a reason, and we're able to tune into our timeline and use it to serve us in a positive, and so more of a favor, and for our journey through life, because we can look back in time, we can look forward. It's our storybook, right, of life experience, and so we can use it to manipulate time. We can change it. We can change the story. We don't have to live by the script. We have the ability to change it in the present moment of our experience. And so that's where a presence comes in, the practice of presence, the practice of inner healing, inner journey, the experiencing, looking back on our life, changing the timeline, resetting our set points, changing, transferring. So it's all in your favor. The timeline is here for your purpose, right? And so it depends on whether you're using it in your power from that perspective or it's against you. So you have the option to choose. Is your timeline against you or is it for you in your favor, right? And so because it's just like you're saying, if I'm not living my life in the present moment, I'm living of the past. So when we're living of the past, right, we're not using our book of life as it's meant to be used, as it's been given by Source for us to create from and to change and manipulate our life and to change it. Like when we realize we're on the wrong path or we're reverting back to the past, that's been created of our evolution, because there's this timeline, right? And it's based off of everything that we lived up to this point. So we can go back as far as possible that we can from the very beginning of time. We have access to that. It's a timeline because everything is from the one source. And so it has all these different, it's like a web. You have the middle and then you have all these different lines. And so however you're creating your life, and a lot of native shamans talk about, the web. So that is, how it's created, but we can go back into those certain periods of time and change that for evolution, which changed our outcome over time. And I just did a video on that, like on the money loop, explained a little bit about that. But we can definitely go and change our timeline and use it for our purpose. Okay, this is what I did before. This was the outcome. This is coming back up around again, do it because it's something I already have going on in motion. It's coming back around. Am I going to do the same thing, right? Am I going to keep recreating this set line, this purpose, what we've created from that point in my experience, or am I going to change it in the present moment in this time frame, right? Think of your life as different time frames, like little snapshots of your life, which becomes put all together. It's kind of like a movie, creating a movie, and then it's all put together, and then you have your life story, your life book. Okay, this is the life book of Laura. This is the life book of John. This is the life book of Abe, or this is the life book of Catherine. this is your timeline, this is your experience, and that's where you get like, you know, having to do a life review, because everything is recorded what you do, and we're accountable to ourselves at the end of this life. Do we want to go back and change that? Do we want to go back and make that better? Do we want to go back? Because looking at our our timeline of the life review, once we're there back home after this life in the space of love, do we want to go back and change it? So a lot of people might choose to come back and be reincarnated again and do a different script, right? Because basically, this is where we work a lot of stuff out. And a lot of people come back over and over and over again trying to work it out, but because we forget, coming back into the next lifetime, we may just recircumvent the, I don't even know if that's a word, recircumvent the situation. And it perpetuates in our life, and so we keep coming back trying to replay that, or, you know, get it right again, because reincarnation and things like that, it's not about a negative. It's there for you to change lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, but it's not to reap, you know, what you've done to others, like a lot of people think. And I've done a video on that, you know, as far as karmic overlay. It's so we can change and manipulate time, right? But instead of going home and then coming back, you can do it in this lifetime, right? If you are able to learn how to work and use the tools now, right? And so learning that we can do that is just, you know, part of the battle. It's once we've learned that we can actually do that, then doing it is the other part, right? So first we have to become aware that something is existing or happens, or we can do something with it, which is our abilities. And then the other part is doing it, right? So if you're looking at your timeline, it's these little increments of your life being recorded through the choices and the seeds that you're planting in your manifesting life, right? So you can either, you know, come back in a different form and redo it, but you can also just do it now, right? So with that being said, you know, your storage, you have a storage kind of like the computer system. And it's a great way to look at it, since we're in this computer age with AI and things like that. Or is it IA? I don't know, AI. Anyway, we have this storage that's being recorded, right? And it gets uploaded, downloaded, however you want to talk about it. But anyway, the storage is there, it's written, but it doesn't mean we have to stay with it. We can change it anytime. So using your Akashic records as in favor of yourself and your life, not being a victim to it, because what was doesn't have to be. We can change that. We can change the timeline. We can manipulate it. We can transform it. We can stop train from going in that direction and make it go in a different direction, right? It's just learning how to manipulate, work with the law of attraction and the way that the universe is, right? Get rid of the human concepts of how things are, and then work with the universe as source gave it to us, right? And that's understanding who we are from that point, and being in our power to do it, right? Because we're not just humans. We have our spiritual form, our God form, our God self, right? What's been giving all these tools that we can do and change our lives with, right? But if we don't, we're playing on the victim, right? And we're playing on the human concept, which society wants you to be, right? But we're both, right? Source came into human form, and here we are, right? But we're both. We can still manipulate and use both, right? It's just, where are you coming from? Where's your perception? What power are you standing in? Are you being human, where you don't have any abilities, you don't have any choice, you don't have, it's all your limitation? Or are you expanded into higher knowledge and wisdom, awakened from the human form? Because yes, we come in from spirit, we come into the human form, which is a condensed version of everything. But as we grow older, we're actually awakening, right? And so are you going to bud in this lifetime, or are you not? Are you going to stay the seed, right? Now, Buddhists talk about that, you know, the seed that's planted, and we're either going to bud or we're not, right? And so it's really up to you whether you want to continue as the human form, being from that conditioned state, or the victim, or you can start budding out, and you realize the truth and awakening, right? And so again, my awakening for me, my budding, came when I surrendered my human life. So I'll make a video on that at some point. But that had sparked all the suffering from being a human, the victim of life, not understanding, not having the teachings growing up, brought me to my suffering. And then from my suffering, I surrendered my human life, right? And then had my awakening. I went home, death experience, to go home, came back, and I've been on the journey ever since, right, to this point, which has been 2009, right? And that was my awakening. Since then, I've been learning a lot, working with the universe, teachings, downloads, channel writings, working on my spiritual abilities, things like that, reawakening them, so I can do this for not only myself, but for others, right, to start sharing, which I'm guided to do, and happy to do if anybody wants the information. So, but using our Akashic records, our storage, our life book as a resource, once we're in this space, use it as a resource to navigate and manipulate and change your life, and not to be a victim of your life, right? Because it doesn't always have to be, and it doesn't have to be that way, right? We came in at that place doesn't mean it has to stay that way. So again, when we're living our lives from the present moment and understanding and knowing this, you're either in the present moment, living your life, creating from that moment, or you're living of the past, which is the unconscious, right? Is, okay, I'm not present in my life because I'm living from the past, which we bring and perpetuate into the present moment. And from the present moment, we create the same thing, a future of the past. So it's like replayed over and over and over again without the awakening of the cycles. And so again, that's what like Buddhism talks about. As far as that is the cycles that come up, and they term it like they give the reference like the turtle that comes up every now and then. These are the openings and awakenings for you to be like, okay, that's your opportunities to wake up, right? And at those points, you have the ability and the choice to do that, or you can just stay asleep, right? So it's really up to you. You're in control of your life. It's all been given to you. It's really what you want to do. There's no punishments, from source. You've been given everything to create from where you are, from the space that you are, whenever you're ready. And then it's really up to you in making that decision, which is free will, right? You've been given everything. And I talked about free will in a different video. That if it wasn't meant to be, wouldn't have been a given, right? So you've been given all the tools, everything that you need. There's no reason for, anything to not go your way, or to be able to, work on anything as far as, transforming your life or manipulating what you want to create out of it, right? So you can either use it, in your favor, or you can be a victim of it, right? And then not use it. So hopefully this is helpful. I just wanted to, put that out there for you, as far as, you do have that choice, that ability to use your Akashic records to your ability in favor of you, or you can use it, in other ways. So it's really up to you. And just something to think about, putting it out there, and, contemplate that. If you have any questions, or, if you're wanting to know how to access that, also drop that below. If you want to have a session, let me know, and we can work on that as well. If you feel like you want to share the information with somebody who might need help or information on that, do that as well. And happy journeys.